Hi, guys.
Congratulations on your first Leaf win.
Thank you.
That's usually indicative of the player of the game, so is there a ceremony after?
Well, after the game, we talk to the players, and usually the player who last awarded it or last received it gives it out to the person he thinks is deserving, and the team gave it to me. So that's nice that we all did that. My first, I guess, win as the head coach here.
Was there a level of buy-in in terms of effort?
I thought so. I thought there was a clear focus yesterday and a clear focus this morning. I think I felt it. I was worried about being nervous again because I thought the first game they were all seemed a little tight and nervous, but obviously in the first period they came out fairly hard, and scoring in the first shot on net was it was just allowing them to say, listen, guys, just stick with it. Don't let anything bother you and just keep going. And they did a great job. There certainly was a positive flow there. The guys were saying that on the bench. They said, just keep going. We'll get back at it. We'll get it back. And, you could feel the positive energy.
Was tonight a pretty good representation of how you want this team to play night after night?
Well, I definitely feel like that's how we need to approach every game, for sure. I think that's got to be. It's a lot harder to play that way, but that's the way we need to play as a team that's going to be trying to get back to where it needs to be. And I think it's a lot more fun to play that way. It's a lot more energy.
Sorry, what did you notice that was different in terms of protecting the lead? Because in the past, when you guys have been up by 2 or 3 goals, it seems like you've sat back a bit more, and tonight you took it to them.
Well, I think that if you remember, the first 14 times we had a lead going into it this year, we didn't give up a lead, and we were pretty good with that. As it turned out, the last maybe 10 or 15 games, all those games on the road trip, the Floridas, and some of those games, we all had leads and we gave them up. So it was a trending thing that we were doing on this down streak, that we were giving up leads. And, what happens is the guys start playing safe, and they start sitting back, and they start trying to play safe. Safe is not a good way to play. Smart and hard is a good way to play. So, you want to keep skating. You want to keep laying pucks in, putting them in the right place, keep shooting pucks, but you can't sit back and try to protect leads by sitting on your heels.
Pleased with the way that your lines worked in terms, especially guys like Winnick, Ponick, guys that you promoted, certainly seemed to answer the bell.
I thought they all did a good job. There's times you want to get more minutes for maybe the Smith line, and I thought they did a great job. I mean, the minutes I got out there, I felt like I wanted to play more, and but there was all of a sudden there's a lot of power plays and things like that kind of takes the rhythm out of it. But I thought the lines all worked hard. They did a good job. They were all focused. They were all engaged in how we wanted to play. Obviously, not a perfect game. You're not going to do that. There was times when I didn't like certain things, but they responded, and they didn't continue to fall that way. As a team, if you have a bad shift, you don't want to have 2. And we've heard that many times before. You have a bad period, you don't want to have 2. So I think they responded pretty well.
Look at guys like Kessel and Bozak and Van Riemsdyk could breathe a little bit. They've been some of the guys under pressure.
I think that there's natural pressure that goes with players that, whether you're bigger scorers and you're guys that are considered to be your leaders, and there's always more pressure on those guys. That's kind of goes with the territory. But I thought the power play worked very, very well. They were moving it around. That was a huge deal to get. So we had a little puck luck early in the game. We had the 5-on-3, I think, was knocked in off of their guy. I think Tootin might have knocked it out of the air and knocked it into the net. The first goal went off their skate going at it. But we hadn't had a lot of puck luck for a while. So I think that, putting pucks towards the net, putting them in those areas, sometimes it works in your favor.
Have you been able to detect any difference among the guys, almost attitude-wise, in the last few days? Have you been able to sense a change there?
Well, I feel like there was definite buy-in and definite positive attitude. You could feel like they wanted to engage in a positive direction. I think they wanted to do it the first game, but it wasn't there. They were tight in the first period. They were, and there was some mistakes made. And when these things happen where you want them to change their approach and their thought process, it takes maybe some time to do that. And it's not going to be perfect all the time, but what we want them to do is play more in that direction that we played tonight.
Does this give you a boost going on that road trip?
Absolutely. I mean, we're going to be playing some tough teams, and this is a good team. They're a hard-working team. They have had a lot of success, and since they got all their injured players back, they've had a lot of success, and they're a hard team to play against, and I think our guys worked hard. So going out on the road and that California trip when you're playing LA and Anaheim and San Jose, and then coming back with the St. Louis, they're all big, physical, top of the West. I mean, there's 6 really good teams out there, and they're the 4 of them.
You know a bit about them, though, having been in that conference
Yes.
for a while.
I'm going to feel familiar with them, and we had some success. We beat Anaheim here in LA here, but we gave up 40 shots in those games. So maybe our goalie was maybe helping us in those areas. So we obviously have to play better defensively than we played when we played them here in their building, and it's going to be difficult. But obviously, this is the way we rather play. We rather play harder. When the guys are playing that way, you're giving up less shots and less chances.
From your perspective, how difficult will it be for the team to replicate that kind of effort time?
Well, it's going to fall somewhere, and I'm going to have to push them to do it again. And I'm going to have to continue to prod and push. But I think the guys know that it feels good after that game. When you come in the room and you're tired and you can have some success like tonight, I think the guys feel good about themselves in that area. We need that, and they have to know that that's the way we want to play.